Hello everyone, I hope you're all having a good day. I'm Benjamin from Jamin Studios. I'm here to brighten and enlighten. This is the first video of 2022. So woo! Yeah! Let's go! Today's video, I'm going to be continuing the inventory demo series that I've created. In the last one, I said if we had time that we would create an item scene. We will be starting off with that in this video. And I will show you, if we play this, how this video is going to be oriented is that we're going to go and work our way inside and then out. So we're going to create the item scenes that go into these slots. Then we're going to make these slots actually work. Then we're going to make this inventory system actually work. Then we're going to have an inventory manager scene that basically will have us that'll have us have the different inventories actually communicate with each other. And then we're going to have a SignalManager, which basically helps the inventories connect to the inventory manager so that they can communicate to themselves. So that's the basis of this video. So we're just going to jump right into it. We got to create an item scene. So we're going to create a new scene. They are going to be, so what we are going to need is a 2D scene. This is going to be called item. Then what we're going to want to do is we're going to want to get a texture rec so we know what our item actually is. And I have a few item icons down here. I think that's it. Let me just plop that in there. Yeah, I think that's it. We're just going to shrink that down. And this is going to be our, hold on. So this is going to show us what item we actually have. So this is going to show us our item name. Then we want to add a label to show us how much of that item we actually have. So let's do hashtag so we can actually see where this is going to go. We can see the size of it. Just gonna shove down, I think right about there looks good. I'm just eyeballing it here, but once we actually get to the actually playing the game and this number starts changing, that's when we can decide, okay, we need to change this out. So we're going to save that right there, and I do not have an item folder, but that's okay. I'll just stick it right there. So now that we have our item scene, we need to create its script. So just give me 1 second here. So welcome back. I have completed this script right here. The only thing though is that there's a commented section out, which I did forget to mention we should also do today, which is JSON files. Those things are very important in very big games. So it helps us to not really hard code things into the script right here. It also condenses all of those numbers into one place. So if you change that number, it changes everything, which is very convenient, and it does save you a lot of time. So I'm just going to go through this script and telling you things about it. So up here, we set our variables, our item name and item quantity. These are the very important things that the item holds. Those two are the only variables that we'll be actually shoving around through all these different scripts, is the item name and item quantity every single time. Item name is not set, but it will be set down here. The item quantity is set at 1 because there will always be 1 of something, but it will be set right here. And our function set item, this will run every single time we initialize our inventory. And so we basically do what I just said we did. We set the item name and item quantity, and then we make sure that the image, when I put the apple in, the item name would be apple. That's here, that's sent through, and it will get the image that I put from the tree. So it's looking to go to item icons. There's a folder named item icons, and then it's apple icon.png, which is right there. So then it would put that image into the texture rect. Right now it's that apple that I told you about. Now we're looking to the stack size. So this is where that JSON file is going to come in handy. So we can have stack sizes for each of our items. So our stack size is there. This will basically help us determine if we should leave our label on and off. And then if it is greater than 1, then we want to make the item quantity, well, I actually have some, we actually do not need that section. That basically just says if the item quantity is bigger than stack size, then have it equal to stack size instead. That is not a very good fix to that problem if you actually input more than one, or more than the quantity. All right, let me slow down there. That problem is not a very good fix if what we're passing through, the quantity, is greater than the stack size. All it is it's going to visually show you that there is enough, that there is a stack size. But the code will not show. The code is different than what it's showing. So that's why that's not a very good fix. But if the stack size is greater than 1, then we want for the label to actually equal 1. We want it to show what the item quantity is, what we are passing through. And then the add item quantity and the sub item quantity are basically the same thing. We are just manipulating the item quantity variable and then showing that variable. So this is our item scene right here. We will be calling this around the different scripts as an item class scene. So this is now made. I have the 2 variables that are the most important in our item scene, which will be called item class throughout our different scripts. While these 2 variables are actually being passed around, these 2 are very important. They are the item name and item quantity. The item name is not set because we don't really know what this script is going to become. We don't know what item name is going to be. But the item quantity is set to equal 1 at the start because there obviously will be something there if we have something. So that's why it's 1. And then we go ahead and set the item with its name and how much it has. This will be set every single time we initialize the inventory system. And that's what these first 2 lines are, is basically us setting those 2 variables to equal what we pass through. And then we go ahead and we actually import the image file that we have. Right now it's the apple. So if we pass the item name of apple, then it will be that image that I put in. And that's exactly what this is doing. It will go and find the image file of whatever item name we pass through. But we have to make sure that it is right. Then over here, we are messing with the stack size to actually see if we should show the label or not. Because if we have a stack size of 1, then we don't need to show it. You just know that there's 1 left. But if there is more than 1, then we should show how much we have in that slot. And I also did forget to mention that we will be doing a JSON file for this demo, this inventory demo that I have, which will, it won't contain a whole lot. It's going to be a basic one, but I'm just going to go through the points and whatnot. And this will show the stack size. So right now, I'm just going to have the stack size to equal a random number. Oh, actually, hold on. We're going to round it, actually. Round the random number from 0 to 10 as of right now. So it's going to choose a number between 0 to 10, and then it's going to round that number. And that will be our stack size. It's just a random thing. So we're going to save that, and we're not going to actually know how much the stack size is. Yeah. But with this, I do believe that we should actually create also a new thing. So, oh wait, nope, never mind. That's not gonna work. It's not gonna work. It's not a very good fix. I'll say it's not a very good fix. But if the stack size, oh yeah, we already went through that. So there we go. Now the add item quantity and the sub item quantity are basically the same thing. We're just manipulating the item quantity to do what we want it to do, and then we're going to show it. That's what we do in both of these. And so that is the, those are the functions in our item scene, and we will be calling it the item class and other different scripts. And I do believe that I don't even use these. I don't know why I put those there. I thought I would need them, but I don't. And yep, looks like we're good. We're fine. We're chilling. We're chilling. So let's save that, and then I'm gonna leave it up for now. But I want to go into the inventory scene we have here. Oh, I completely. So yes, we have here our slot scripts, but now you see down here we have it commented out. Now we actually don't need to do that anymore because we can uncomment this. I do believe I put it, I put it in the main, so I can just get rid of that, and it's just item scene, which is right over here. Is that? Then that means we can uncomment all of that, and we are set. The slots are now ready. But we do need to actually make up the inventory. So what we need to do is go to our main scene and create a script for our inventory system, which we were just in the scene for. So we're going to create a script for this. Inventory container. Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. We can do that. And I will be right back. So now we actually have our inventory script made up. It's commented out mostly because we don't have our two scripts made yet, which I mentioned earlier, the SignalManager and our PlayerInventory or not manager, just PlayerInventory. Those two are going to be special scripts because we can actually call those whenever we want. They're going to be auto played ? It's something like that. The Godot called it something, and I kind of forget. But I know, like, Autoload. It's Autoload. That's what it is. So it's Autoload. We need to autoload those two for this to actually be functioning, and that's what we're going to do right here. But I'm going to explain what this script actually does. So we are going to initialize our inventory, which it will call this function right there that's highlighted, and it will basically run through how many slots we have. That's how many things we're going to go through. So it's going to go and check the player inventory, like its inventory, and if it has something, then basically initialize the item. Basically, put the item in the slot. That's what we're going to do. And with the given name and the given quantity. That's what those two mean right there. So now we got to auto-load those two functions, those two scripts. So what we are going to want to do is we're going to come down to our tree here with all of our scripts and scenes and icons, and we're going to right-click and go to New Script. This new script is going to be called, let's go, PlayerInventory.gd. All right, so we're going to create that. Then we're actually going to go to it. There we go. We're going to go to it. And this is going to be the auto load one. This is going to hold our inventory for our player and actually move things in and out of that array that we create. Well, this is awkward. So this is our inventory script right here. We have the slot class and item class, which is basically our scripts for this slot item. I mentioned that before, that they're going to keep going through all of these scripts. Then we have our number of slots that we have, which is going to be a constant number. if you want this number to change, it's going to have to be a variable. And our actual inventory, so this is what we're going to basically pass through. This will show us where we set and start our process of the item name and item quantity. So here it counts from 0 and goes to 19 because there are 20 slots. And I have this little note here which basically says the slot index, the item name, and item quantity, which we have here. Our slot index is 3, item name is apple, and our item quantity is 5. Then we have our slot index of 7, item name of arrow, item quantity of 3. Then we have slot index of 10, item name of bucket of milk, with an item quantity of 1. And then we go down. I'm not going to go through add item just because we cannot do this without our JSON file, which we'll be setting up later. But then remove item, add item to empty slot, and add item quantity and sub item quantity are basically one-line things. You just, if you can look here, you'll basically see what they do. They need to pass through the slots and the items that we've set up here to really do something about this. So you're going to see this a lot where it's slot.slotIndex or slot.item.item name or item.item name or item.item quantity or slot.item quantity. You're going to be seeing that a lot throughout these scripts. So we're going to save this and we're going to project settings, and we're going to move over to the Autoload tab. Now we're going to want to press that little file folder thing we saw there and go to our player inventory script. Once we double click it, we're going to press add, and now our player inventory script is going to be auto loaded. So we're going to close that, go back to our inventory, and uncheck or uncomment the initialized inventory. And now this should be able to work, but usually it's lit green. So let me check here. Project settings, Autoload, maybe hit that. I don't know. We'll see in another time. But yeah, these should be lit up like a light green. So I don't know why it's not doing that. But there we go. And we can tell if we start typing out player inventory right there, you can see that it works, that it is auto-loaded. That's fantastic. Now we want to go to do the SignalManager. So now let's go and create a new script with the same method, and we're going to call this one SignalManager. So create, and then we got to go to it, and we are going to add these two signals. Now we're going to have these hashtag warning things because if you look down to the bottom right over here, it's going to pop up with a triangle with an exclamation mark in it saying that they return something. And no, it's an unused signal. It's an unused signal because in this script we don't use these signals. We actually use these signals in other scripts. So now we can go back to the player inventory. The inventory, and uncomment this. Because, oh wait, yeah, that's right. Now we can uncomment that, but we want to make sure we go to our project settings and auto load the SignalManager as well. So we're going to add close, and bada bing, bada boom. We shouldn't have that red thing anymore. Boom. There we go. So now we will emit the signal. And the last thing I need to do today for you guys is creating an inventory manager. So what we're going to need to do is we're going to go to our UI, add a child. This one's going to be a node. And this node is going to be the item manager scene. Sorry, not item manager. Inventory manager. That is spelled correctly, so we're going to do that. Add a script, create, and add in the necessary things. And here is our inventory manager script. So we're going to create an array of all the inventories we have, and then our var inv is basically going to be the script for the inventory. So it could equal the player inventory or anything, or any script that has these things in it. And then our item in hand, which is going to be the child of the item in hand node. And then we call the slot class. And then this is where we get the item in hand node that you see over here on the left. And then on the ready function, we basically get this to be ready, and we tell the SignalManager that we are ready. You see, now it is light green. I don't know why it changed, but it did. But when the inventory is sending its signal, it will go here and append its inventory to its thing. Then it will append the inventory. Then we have an index of 0, and this is basically setting the slot index with all the different slots in the inventory, and we're also setting its GUI input to a function called onGUIInputSlot, which is right down here. Then we have a function called input. This one is specifically for when we're moving the mouse around, and we have an item in hand. So we have a child of the item in hand node. This will help us move it around the screen when we do pick up an item. Then the GUI input slot is basically telling us how we are going to put the items in each of the individual slots and what we're going to do according to each scenario. So right here, if we left click an empty slot, then we want to put the item in there. And I also have these are helpful function names, and there are helpful comments to actually help out with trying to process what we're doing with this item. And then we will left click different item. So if we have like an apple and we're trying to put it in the slot of a bucket of milk, then we want to flip those two items. Then the left click same item. Then we want, if we have an apple in hand and an apple in the slot, we want to try and add as many apples as we can into the slot. And if we can't, then we're just going to leave it in our hand. Then we're going to left click not holding an item. This is when we don't have an item in hand and we want to bring out an item in a slot. And then later, we'll actually do dropping an item. So what I've done is right click. If you right click an item and you don't have an item in hand, then this function will operate. And so I have an inv equals player inventory. That's the Autoload, and that tells us to actually access that. And down here, I'm not going to run through these because some of them, is tap that open. That's a weird one. That is a weird one. Don't know about that. I'll get to that later, but I'm not gonna run through these. I'm just going to. You can pause them if you want, but I'm not gonna talk a whole lot about them. They basically have helpful names to actually help you through these, and I've talked about most of these functions here. So if you want to pause, and that's gonna do it for this video. We're not going to showcase because I don't have everything set up yet, like the JSON files, which we will start the next episode. Then we can actually run through and see if this actually works, which it should. If there are any mistakes, then I will let you guys know. With that, thank you for sticking around to the end of the video. I hope you guys learned something new. Please like this video if you enjoyed it. Subscribe to my channel if you like the sort of content that I create here, and comment anything, like your comments, your questions, your concerns, or anything you just like to see in general on this channel. That would be greatly appreciated, and I hope you guys all have a good week. I'll see you in the next one.